Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Usually we've got Lance Malone in from Standard Supply, but today we've got pinch hitting, right? Chris Reeves.
Yes.
Yeah, good to have you on. And Chris, great work that you guys do at Standard Supply, keeping my audience informed on how to take care of their home, which for most people, that's their single biggest investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question about it. Tell us a little bit about the great work of Standard Supply. And by the way, the website over there is ssdhvac.com.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. Standard Supply is a wholesale distributor of air conditioning, heating, ventilation, and refrigeration products, and we've been helping the best contractors in Texas help their customers since 1946. Again, you can learn more about us at ssdhvac.com. And today we have Vernon Beck with Indoor Comfort Specialist. He's the business development manager over there. And today we're going to talk about heat pump air conditioners and what their advantages are. But before we do that, Vernon, tell us a little bit about your background and about Indoor Comfort Specialist.
Well, thanks, Chris. My background has been pretty much technically related as well as education. As far back as I can remember, I spent quite a few years in the Air Force as a fighter pilot and also bombers for a while. I went to work for Indoor Comfort Specialist under the mentorship of Jerry Egan, and been all this time learning more about geothermal heat pumps and how to apply those in pretty much residential or commercial applications.
Let me ask you, Vernon, how long have you been with them?
Almost 4 years now.
4 years. And how much of your background has been in the heating and air conditioning arena?
Very, very little. And the reason it was such a smooth transition is because I didn't really go into regular conventional AC. I went straight into the geothermal side.
So you didn't have a whole bunch of bad habits to break.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, in layman's terms, Vernon, explain to the listeners what a heat pump air conditioning system is versus a conventional air conditioning system.
Well, the way I like to look at it, Chris, is in the summer it works just the same as a conventional system. But in heat mode or in the winter, it more or less works in reverse operation, except you don't have any heat strips that you're having to deal with as you would with a conventional system.
Okay, kind of explain that in even more layman terms. What does that look like practically for a homeowner?
The homeowner's not really going to see any difference. How the operation of the system works. He's just going to see a tremendous change in his energy usage, and he's going to see a significant decrease in his electrical bills.
Well, you got to love that. Go ahead, Chris.
Are there any advantages to having the heat pump system versus a conventional air conditioning system? I mean, you mentioned price.
Well, one thing right up front is, with the price is that you're going to see a tremendous difference in the amount of fossil fuels being burned. So a lot of people that like the go green aspect of things will find that something very positive they'll want to work with.
Let me ask you, when you say a reduction in price, do you have like a range of where, or cost rather, do you have a range of what people are seeing?
You can easily see a savings every month of 50, maybe even 60%.
Really?
So it's a tremendous savings.
Wow, that's amazing.
And even though you may realize that on most systems, very efficient systems, you may end up paying $1,000 or something around $1,000 more for that complete system. You're looking at a payback in sometimes less than 2 years because of that savings.
And that's for both electric and for both the cooling and the heating.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead, Chris.
Talking about maintenance, we talked about on this show with Kevin several times about maintaining your system. When maintaining a heat pump, is there an additional cost as opposed to the conventional system?
There's really no difference at all. We just recommend, no matter what kind of conventional system you have or heat pump, just have somebody come out once or twice a year, check it out, make sure it's all operating fine. You need to make sure the coil remains clean, just like you would a conventional system. But there's nothing out of the ordinary that you need to do, and there's no extra cost with keeping it maintained.
Very good, very good. And what brand of heat pump air conditioners do you offer to your customers?
We primarily sell a Mana. It's very easy to sell a Mana. Number one, I think their pricing is much more competitive than their competitors in the market. Another thing is they probably have the second to none warranty that you could find, a lifetime warranty to the original purchaser. And that right there goes to the quality because, these companies that make this equipment, They're pretty smart. They're not going to offer a warranty like that if it's going to cost them a lot of money to keep it running.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I'm looking at your website, indoorac.com, and I want to encourage people to check that out. But for the listener out there who's going, wow, that sounds like wild and experimental, but this is over 20 years old, this technology.
Exactly.
And so you're not talking about fly-by-night and something that you're going to have to worry about ripping out because it didn't work. You're talking about over 2 decades, a generation now of improving and making it better.
Well, for many years, you saw heat pumps were more popular up in the north because it just is a fantastic answer to the high cost of heating. But as energy has gotten more and more expensive down here in the South, you're beginning to see it come around. We all know because of the oil patch down here, for many, many years, we didn't pay the high energy costs that the rest of the country has been paying. Well, in the last 12 to 15 years, those costs have skyrocketed, so we are also interested in saving money in the winter, not just the summer.
Very good. Vernon Beck. By the way, go ahead and wrap it up for us, Chris.
Well, finally, there's a local connection when it comes to the Amana brand. What is that, and what advantages are there?
Well, the big thing to remember there is Amana is manufactured right here in Houston. So in the highly unlikely event that there is a warranty issue, then it's very easy to get parts. It's very easy to get specialty parts or anything that you would need. You can have it to you just about overnight. And you just don't see that with the other manufacturers who are made in outside this state, and some of them even in Mexico or other countries.
Well, that's good to know. I appreciate it very much. Vernon Beck, you can learn more about what his company's all about by going to indoorac.com. And, of course, Chris Reeves, he's with Standard Supply. They're regulars here on the program, and we're delighted we get to keep you for 2 segments, both of you. Chris Reeves, Standard Supply. You can learn more about them at ssdhvac.com. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.